More thing before we get started. Just one more thing before we get started. Great. So we are ready. We are locked and loaded. So hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the webinar Home Ownership 101. So I put together this webinar. As you guys know, I do a monthly webinar in regards to the home buying process or sometimes investing in real estate. So this specific webinar is on Home Ownership 101. I put together this webinar to give everyone who's looking to buy a home understanding of how the home buying process works, what you need, what it will take to get you from the start of the home buying process to closing. A lot of times I get questions, messages, emails in regards, what do I need to do to start the home buying process? So again, I put together this webinar to give you all the information in regards to what you need to do to start the home buying process if you're looking to buy a home. And you may not be looking to buy a home in the upcoming months, but whether it be 6 months from now, a year from now, even 2 years from now, depending on your situation, this information can help you and prepare you for the home buying process. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So who am I? My name is Danielle Smallwood. I'm a licensed realtor. I've been in real estate for 4.5 years, and I've been a realtor for 3.5 years. So I started off on the investing side, and then went ahead and got my realtor license and became a realtor. I'm licensed in PA as well as Delaware. I specialize in assisting first-time home buyers such as yourself with the purchase of real estate. And my objective is to educate buyers before the home buying process, during the home buying process, and after the home buying process. So after you purchase that property, there's still things that you may not know that you need to do. So again, my job is to educate you before the process, during the process, and things that you need to do after the process. So my mission is to help individuals to create generational wealth through real estate, finance, entrepreneurship, and education. This mission is performed through workshops, trainings, and things like this webinar here. My goal is to help 20 individuals buy and or sell real estate before the year is out. So if you're looking to buy soon, connect with me. I would love to help you find the home that you're looking for. So when it comes to buying real estate, when it comes to buying a home, especially if you're buying your first home, you want to have the right mindset and the right team. This is very important. Everyone should own a piece of real estate. Let's make that clear. Everyone should own a piece of real estate, whether that piece of real estate is a piece that you live in or whether that piece of real estate be an investment property. Everyone should own a piece of real estate. Having the right mindset when buying a home is very important. You want to think of the home buying process as a business decision. This decision can ultimately change your life. And this is one of the biggest purchases that you'll ever make in your life, right? So as we know, buying a home can cost you over $100,000, right? Anything else that you may purchase throughout your life may not be that costly. It may, even if you go to purchase a car, the total amount of the car may be $32,000, $40,000, $50,000. Unless you're really up there and you're buying $100,000 or more type of cars, that's a different story. But in most cases, real estate, the home that you're purchasing is 9 times out of 10 the biggest purchase that you'll ever make in your life. So you want to think of this as a business decision. You want to think of this purchase as a business decision. And you want to have your business hat on when going through this process. You don't want to be overly emotional in the home buying process. As a first-time home buyer, it can be difficult, but you don't want to be overly emotional in the home buying process because a lot of things happen in a real estate transaction that you're not aware of, right? So you don't want to be overly emotional. You want to think of this as a business transaction, and you're the CEO of this business, right? You're the CEO of your life. So you want to keep that in mind. Most first-time home buyers, again, are emotional buyers. But again, you want to think of yourself as a business owner and a CEO. As humans, we're emotional people. But we have to put our business hat on and take our emotional hat off. Think positive thoughts throughout this process. Again, a lot goes on in the home buying process. So you want to make sure you're thinking positive thoughts. You want to be positive throughout this process. And you want to reduce the emotions, right? So who should you have on your team when it comes to having the right team when buying a home? Your team should consist of a few things: a realtor, a trusted mortgage lender, a home inspector, and an insurance company. These team of members are very important in the home buying process, and these individuals can help you get to the closing table, right? So the important thing is when buying a home, you want to have the right team around you to educate you throughout the process, because the ultimate goal is to get you to the closing table, right? We don't want you starting a process, spending money on a home inspection and then not being able to fulfill the home buying process and wind up losing money. That's something that you do not want to do. So if you're looking to buy a home, you got to be committed to the process, and you got to have the right people on your team that'll get you to the closing table, because again, you do not want to wind up, 1, losing money, 2, not going through the process and then not buying a home. You don't want to do that. So what holds people back? One thing that holds people back when it comes to the home buying process is credit. Your credit score is very important. The things that's on your credit report are very, very important. Again, this is the biggest reason that holds individuals back from buying a house. Most individuals have no idea what's on their credit report, or even what their credit score is, or even how credit works. So again, this is key information, right? Credit. A mortgage lender is going to look at your credit. That's the first thing they're going to look at. Or they're even going to ask you, what's your credit score? What's on your credit report? So these are things that you want to know, right? Because this is a big hindrance when it comes to the home buying process. This is another reason why mindset is important as well. You're the CEO of your life, and you want to be aware and responsible for your life and educate yourself on certain things, especially credit, because this credit plays a major role, whether you're buying a house or whether you're trying to finance a car. Credit just plays a major role, even if you're renting an apartment. Whatever you're looking to buy using financing and not using your own money, your credit is going to come into play, and your credit score is going to come into play. So this is why this is very important, and you want to know what your credit score is. You want to know what's on your credit report, and you want to monitor those things. Okay? So how can you review your credit report? Easily. You can go to www.myannualcreditreport.com. On this website, you can review your credit report from the 3 major credit bureaus, right? And this is one thing that I tell people: you can do this for free. You're entitled to a report for free. If you're looking to see what's on your credit report, because you're trying to get your credit in order, this is what I would tell you to do. You're allowed to get the 3 free credit reports. Again, if you're going to fix up your credit report all at once, then download all 3 reports from the 3 different credit bureaus at one time. If you're comfortable with where your credit score is at, then all you need to do is you monitor your credit by checking the credit reports once every 3 to 4 months, right? So once every quarter, you want to pull one of the reports. So whether it be January, you're pulling Equifax. Whether it be when it comes to March or April, you're pulling the second TransUnion. Let's say June, July, you're pulling from the third bureau. So you want to make sure that you're pulling the credit reports from the 3 different credit bureaus quarterly. If your credit score is intact, and if you're not too concerned about your credit report, you can pull the reports quarterly. Again, if your credit score is not that great and you want to check and see what's on your credit report that's hindering your credit score, then you want to pull all 3 reports at once so you can check and see what the differences are, or even what's hindering you from getting a higher credit score, right? Once you have those reports, you can dispute items if you need to get your credit score up, right? So again, you want that report so you know what's on your credit report so you can dispute items if necessary. If you have a credit card, another way that you can track your credit score, if you have a credit card that tracks your credit score monthly, use that, or you can download free apps that you can use that'll give you your credit score. I know I have I can give out a few because I know I have a few on my phone actually. Let's see. So, and I could tell you one that I use is Credit Sesame. Another one is NerdWallet. If you're trying to get on a budget, and you also kind of want to track your credit score. Another one is NerdWallet. That's a free app that you can use. Another one is Credit Sesame, free app that you can use. I don't get paid to give out these names, but these are things that I use. Again, Credit Sesame, NerdWallet, and Wallet Hub. If you're looking to track your credit score, you can look at those things, and some of those apps also can tell you what's on your credit report as well. So those apps can help you and come into play as well. Now, once you get your credit in order and you're kind of ready to start the home buying process, you want to do your research on the market that you're looking to buy in. For example, I service mainly Philadelphia, Delaware County, Montgomery County, and a little Bucks County, but I also service Delaware as well. So for this, I'll do an example. Let's say I'm looking to purchase in the Winfield section of Philadelphia. One thing that you want to do if you're looking to buy in the Winfield area, you want to start viewing homes online, so you can get an idea of what things are selling for, right? You want to have an idea of what homes are selling for. You can also speak with a realtor in regards to this, but you can start doing some research on your own before speaking with a realtor. So you just have a general idea, right? You don't have to do intense research, but just have a little idea of what homes are selling for in certain conditions and things like that. Also want to find out or know what type of style home that you like, whether it's newly renovated, where the main floor is an open concept, or whether it's a property that someone was actually living in, but the property is in move-in ready condition. So you kind of want to have an idea of what things are selling for in certain conditions. So you can kind of get a feel for when you get pre-approved, okay, I've been approved for this amount. Because I've done a little research and explored a few listings online, I know general area how much this pre-approval, what type of home I can get with this pre-approval, right? So you want to get familiar with price ranges, right? Because every neighborhood is different. So again, I did an example on Winfield. If you come to Cobbs Creek section of Philadelphia, which is another section in West Philly, price points are different. If you go to West Oak Lane, price point is different. So each section in Philadelphia has different price points. Each section in Delaware County, they have different price points depending on conditions and depending on area. Same with Montgomery County, same with Bucks County, and same with Delaware, with the state of Delaware. Each little pocket is different and the price points are different. So you want to make sure you kind of have an idea of what you're looking for, what things are going for, especially once you get that pre-approval. You want to know, you want to have an idea of what you want and what homes are selling for. So realtors perform 7 main roles. The first thing a realtor should do is educate you about the market. So again, on the last slide, you did a little research yourself, but once you get that pre-approval and you know how much home you can afford, you know what you want in a home, your realtor should educate you about the market. You want to analyze your wants and your needs, right? Once you personally analyze your wants and your needs, your realtor can analyze your wants and your needs as well. We show you homes that fit your criteria. We coordinate and work with other professionals, such as, for instance, the home inspection company, title company, the mortgage lender. We work with and coordinate a lot of different things with other professionals within our industry. We negotiate on your behalf. We review paperwork and deadlines, and we also solve problems that may come up. So what most people don't know is a lot of things can happen during a real estate transaction. There's multiple things going on at once, whether it be paperwork between lender and your realtor, whether it be paperwork between title company, your realtor, and the lender. It's a lot of moving parts all at once. So many things can transpire during a real estate transaction. But again, our job is to solve those problems, right? So you want to make sure whatever realtor you decide to work with, whether it be me, whether it be someone else, you want to make sure you are getting these 7 main roles fulfilled. Again, educating you about the market, analyzing your wants and needs, showing you homes that fit your needs, coordinating and working with other professionals, because this right here, the coordinating the work of other professionals, this is very important because once you submit an offer and that offer gets accepted, there are deadlines within that offer that needs to be met. And if your agent or realtor is not coordinating with other professionals to get things done, or at least assisting you with coordinating the work with other professionals to get things done, it can make you lose out on money and it can make you lose out on a deal. So you just want to make sure that your agent, whether it be you or your agent, even if it's not your agent, they should be, and it's you coordinating things. You want to make sure your agent is just following up and checking in with you just to make sure things are getting done. Because again, there are deadlines in the agreement of sale that you want to make sure that you meet, and you want to make sure you don't lose the deal, let alone lose your money. That's very important. All right. Selecting a realtor. Selecting a realtor or agent to work with is important. You want a realtor that has your best interest, who knows the market, who understands how real estate works, and can perform the 7 roles from the last slide. This is very important. Like I said previously, there are things that can go wrong in a transaction. Realtor can drop the ball, lender can drop the ball, title company can drop the ball. There are a lot of things that can go wrong, but you want to make sure you're working with a realtor who knows the market, who knows what they're doing, who've been doing this for some time, and who knows how real estate works. Again, it's a tough, especially the market that we're in now is a seller's market. It's a tough market. So you want to make sure that your agent or realtor is staying on top of everything and doing what needs to be done to get your deal done, get your offer accepted, and get the deal to closing. Because that's the ultimate goal at the end of the day, is get buyers to the closing table, to get them inside the home that they want, and to make sure you as a buyer, our job is to make sure you're not losing money or wasting your time. So the home buying process, what is the timeline, or what are the necessary steps, right? So the very first thing is you got to make a decision to buy. Next, you want to meet with a realtor. You want to get pre-approved. You want to view homes in person. So most realtors and agents, I know me personally, if you have not been pre-approved, I do not take you out to see houses. And the main reason why most agents, and the reason why I do this is because, let's say you have an idea of a budget of $250,000 that you want to spend, right? So let's say I take you out to homes before getting pre-approved that are up to $250,000 because that's what you're looking to spend without getting pre-approved, right? You see this one home, you love it, you want to submit an offer, but again, you haven't been pre-approved. So now you have to go through that pre-approval process. And once you've gone through that pre-approval process, what can happen is the lender can say, oh, I can only pre-approve you for $200,000. I can't pre-approve you for $250,000. Now you fell in love with a house that's $250,000, but you've only been pre-approved for $200,000 because that's what the bank will allow you to borrow. So that's why most agents will not take you out without a pre-approval, right? Because we want to make sure you are looking at homes within your pre-approval range. That's very important. I would hate for someone to fall in love with a house that they can't buy. That would suck, right? So again, meet with a realtor, get pre-approved, start viewing homes in person. Once you've seen something that you love, you want to make an offer on. You want to make an offer on that home. Once your offer has been accepted, you want to do inspections. Inspections is very important. So inspections is the home inspection. So this is very important because what happens is the home inspection tells you every single thing about the property, right? Because when you went and viewed that home, you didn't check the mechanics of the property. You didn't check the heating, the plumbing, the HVAC, the electrical. You didn't check all that. You just walked through the home and said, and you felt a good vibe about it, and you said, oh, I can see myself living here. But you never checked the little nuances or even went up on a roof to make sure that the roof was in good condition. So this is why the home inspection is very important. And one thing I recommend all my clients, get your general home inspection, get a termite inspection, get a radon inspection, as well as a sewer scope. Sewer scope will tell you that the plumbing that's in the house is running properly to the sewer. You want to make sure that there's no cracks, no leaks, or no clogs in that sewer drain, because if so, they can get backed up and start coming into your house. So you want to make sure that that everything from the plumbing is flowing out properly out to the street, to the curb. So those are the inspections. So after the inspections are completed, you want to do an appraisal. This is, if you're using financing, this is going to happen anyway. Your lender is going to send out the appraiser to the property. And what an appraisal is, it basically tells you, an appraisal is going to tell you the true value of the home. Because one thing that can happen, anybody can list a home at any price that they want, right? Anybody can list a home at any price that they want. But you as a buyer, you want to make sure that you're not overpaying for a property, right? And again, this is why a realtor, working with a realtor when you're buying, is very important, because they should know the market. They should not allow you to overpay for a property. So they should know the market. They should know what things are selling for in that area, right? But again, an appraisal will tell you the true value of a property. If you're an FHA buyer, you cannot overpay for a property because you automatically have an appraisal contingency built in. So with FHA, they will only allow you to borrow the amount that the property appraises for. So you don't have to worry about overpaying for a property. I know that's one concern when working with first-time home buyers, is that they don't want to overpay for a property. As an FHA buyer, you cannot overpay for a property because you automatically have a built-in appraisal contingency. Okay. After the appraisal, you want to protect your asset. We'll discuss this in depth a little bit more, but you can protect your asset through homeowners insurance. And there's another way that I'm going to talk about as well. After you gotten your homeowner's insurance, you want to secure financing. So securing financing is very important because even though you received a pre-approval, that doesn't necessarily mean the bank will allow you to borrow the money that they pre-approved you for. So securing financing means that you received a mortgage commitment from a lender. This mortgage commitment does not come into play until you've gone under contract on a property. So again, securing financing, that means you received a mortgage commitment that basically says, yes, the bank is saying, yes, I will allow you to borrow this money to purchase this specific property. Other than that, your pre-approval is just a pre-approval. It doesn't necessarily mean that the bank will allow you to borrow money. And once you basically secure financing, once your financing is secure, you're ready to close. You're ready to receive those keys. That's the most exciting part throughout the process. So what does it take to get pre-approved, right? For residential properties, in order to get pre-approved for a mortgage, you need to be able to qualify. So this is why I'd say credit is very important. You need a minimum credit score of a 620. Now, asterisk. The higher your credit score, the better. So if you have a 620, that's great. If you don't have a 620 and you have a little bit under a 620, that's fine. Work on building up that credit score, right? But the higher your credit score, the better. Why is that? Because the higher your credit score, the more lender things are available to you, right? So the more options that you have. So as far as when it comes to a 620 credit score, you're going to have a higher interest rate because your credit score is a little lower. 660, you're going to have a little bit better interest rate. 700, your interest rate is going to be low, right? So again, the higher your credit score, the better. Sometimes it's not even in regards to the interest rate, but you get more benefits when you have a higher credit score. You get more loan options. You're more accessible to grant money. You're more accessible to closing cost assistance programs and things like that. So you don't just want to shoot for a 620. The higher your credit score, the better, because again, it opens you up to more options that the lender may have. But if you only have a 620, the lender may only have one mortgage option for you. But if, let's say, you have a 660 or a 680 or a 700, you've now opened yourself up to about 3, 4, 5 different programs that the lender may have. And these programs, again, are more beneficial to you because your credit score is higher. And now you're also able to get a better interest rate than if you had a credit score at 620. So again, the higher your credit score, the better it is for you. So I always tell people, don't just shoot for a 620 credit score. Shoot for higher because it allows you to access more things from a lender, basically. So again, you want to have your credit score, you want to have that intact. You want to have 2 years of employment history, 2 years tax returns and W-2s. You want to be currently employed and have income. You also want to have money saved up. I recommend a minimum of $5,000, but with most of the programs, the grant programs here in Philadelphia, most of those programs have gone away because they are on a first come, first served basis. Most of those programs have gone away. So the more money you have saved up, the better. I even have here, the more money you have saved up, the better. So don't just shoot for a 620 credit score and don't just shoot for having $5,000 saved up. You want to have more money than that saved up because you will have upfront fees that you have to pay prior to closing. Another thing that most buyers, especially first-time home buyers, don't know is there's a difference between down payment and closing costs. Most people think, oh, I'm an FHA buyer, I only have to put 3.5% down. That's true, but also not true. Yes, you only have to put 3.5% down for that loan, but you also have closing costs that you have to pay that can run you between 2 to 5% of the purchase price. right? So you want to take that into consideration, and also take into consideration that you have upfront fees that you have to pay prior to closing. So what are those upfront fees? Your home inspection. Your home inspection, depending on what inspections you get, can run you from about $400 to $1,000. All depends on property as well. You'll have your home inspection. You have to put down a deposit. So you want to make sure that you have enough money to put down a deposit for your home inspection, and also to cover your appraisal. That's another fee that you have to pay up front before closing. So those are three things that you have to pay up front: home inspection, putting down a deposit, and the appraisal. Three things you have to pay up front. Then at closing, you have to put down 3.5%. Then you also have to cover your closing costs. So, and in most cases, and 9 times out of 10, that's going to be over $5,000. Also depends on how much you get approved for, pre-approved for, and how much you're looking to spend on that home, right? So if you're looking at about a $200,000 home, your closing costs can roughly be about between $17,000, $20,000, $21,000. And that's in total from closing costs, and that's including your 3.5% down. The full amount that you need to bring to the table can run you between $17,000, $20,000, $21,000. So you want to make sure that you have enough money saved up to cover those things. Now, does that mean you have to save up $20,000? No, it does not, because there's a thing called seller's assist. And what seller's assist is basically a kickback from the seller to cover some of your closing costs. So do you need to have $20,000 saved up? No, you don't. But the more money you have saved up, the better position it puts you in. Okay. And also, especially once you've gotten into that home, the more money you have saved up, the better, because you may want to add your personal touches to that home. So you may want to, change the paint color. You may want to add new curtains, new blinds, things like that. You may want to buy a new bedroom set, things of that nature. So the more money you have saved up, it allows you to, after you close on a home, to purchase those things. So that's another reason why I tell people the more money they have saved up, the better. But also the lender will want to see funds that you will be able to use to cover those closing costs. So yes, you need 3.5% down, but a lender want to see, before they officially give you a clear to close, they want to see that you have money saved up to cover your down payment and closing costs. Because if you do not, the lender will not give you a clear to close. And you basically need that clear to close to actually purchase the property. So again, you just want to make sure your finances are in order, your credit score is in order. And the more money you have saved up, the better. Again, it's the best position you can be in. But again, you don't have to have $20,000 saved up. Let's say you only save up about $8,000 or $9,000. Totally fine. Why? Because if you have a great credit score, you have lender programs that'll assist you with closing costs. Another thing, you can get seller's assist. So you don't need a lot of money, a ton of money saved up. You don't need $20,000 saved up, but you want to make sure you have enough saved up to get your foot in the door. So have money saved up. So financial preparation. So again, besides credit, being financially prepared is a major key, right? This is another reason why this is a major key. Let's say you're submitting an offer on a property. One thing that has to be submitted with that offer is a thing called a BFI, a buyer financial information sheet. On that sheet, you have to list how much money you have saved up. So this is another reason why the more money you have saved up, the better, because the more that you have listed on that sheet makes you look like a strong candidate when you're submitting your offer to a seller. So the more money you have saved up, the better. You need funds to cover your upfront fees as well as down payment and closing costs. Again, just to reiterate, some of those upfront fees are your earnest money deposit, inspections, and appraisal. So down payment is different from closing costs. A lot of first-time home buyers get this mixed up because, again, like I said previously, they only think that they need 3.5% saved up and that's it. Not true at all. Your down payment is the amount that you have to put down depending on the type of loan product that you have. So for FHA, it's 3.5%. If you have a conventional loan, it can be 3%, it can be 4%, it can be 5%, it can be 10%. All depends on the loan product, right? But closing costs are fees that are incurred for closing on a transaction, such as your title company fees, lender fees, fees due to the city, deed recording, mortgage recording, etc., notary fees. So those are those are basically the differences between closing costs and down payment. So you want to make sure you're aware of that. Because like I said, most people are not aware of that at all. And for my clients, I explain this to them upfront on the phone consultation. Do you know that just that 3.5% down is just down payment for the mortgage? That does not include your closing costs. So that's not the totality of what you need to bring to the closing table. So make sure if you need to write that down, write that down. But that's very, very, very important because most people don't know that. Most people just think they need 3.5% down and that's it. So again, the importance of a home inspection. So basically a home inspector inspects the entire property from the roof, plumbing, heating, electrical system, to the structure of the property to make sure that the property is structurally sound, down to the safety of the home. The inspection is always recommended. I always recommend a home inspection. I will never tell someone to buy a property and not get a home inspection. I don't even think I would allow it because even if you just get a home inspection just for your general knowledge so you know what's going on with the property, I would do that. But I would recommend, especially as a first-time home buyer, you need to get that home inspection because you want to know what's going on with that property, especially if you're going to live in a property. Why is it important? Would you pay a large amount of money on something without having the knowledge if it's functioning properly or not? So would you spend $200,000 on a home and not know if the property is functioning properly? It may look good at the eye, but that does not mean that the property is functioning properly. So you want to make sure you get a home inspection. Again, the home inspection is going to tell you what the defects are, if it's in good condition, if the electrical is working correctly, if the plumbing is working correctly, if the heating system is malfunctioning, how old the heater is, how old the hot water heater is. The home inspection and the home inspector is going to tell you that. So you want to make sure you get a home inspection. It's important, believe me. So protecting your asset. So how do you protect your asset, right? How do you protect that home that you're buying? You protect your asset in two ways, right? You protect it by having homeowners insurance and you protect it by having life insurance. So homeowners insurance is a form of protection that covers the destruction or damage to a property from loss or theft or fire, things of that nature, water damage, things of that nature, right? So if you have a mortgage, you're going to be required to have homeowners insurance. There's no way around it at all because they're going to ask you for proof of homeowners insurance before the bank will allow you to borrow the money, before you can close on the property. They're going to ask you for proof of insurance. Now, life insurance. This is not something that you need to have. Let me retract. This is not something that you're required to have, like homeowners insurance. Life insurance is different. Now, I personally recommend all my clients to get life insurance, especially after they purchase their first home. Why? because God forbid something happens to you after you purchase that property. This way, if you have children, your family is protected. Your family can still live in the property, because from that life insurance policy, they can use their money to continue to pay their mortgage, can continue to pay any debt that you may have. If you have a car, they can still continue to pay their car note. So life insurance is very important and is a form of protection on your life and on the assets that you have, right? And this is another form most people don't know, but life insurance is a form of creating generational wealth. So again, God forbid you die. Yes, you may have life insurance with your job. And this is another thing that I tell people. Even though you have life insurance with your job, God forbid you get fired tomorrow, you now lose their life insurance, right? But if you have a life insurance policy outside of your job that covers you, you're fine. So if you lose your job tomorrow, and let's say for whatever reason you can't find work, God forbid you lose your life, you have life insurance outside of that job that you lost, and now you have a form of protection that can leave a legacy for your kids if you have kids, or leave a legacy to your niece or your nephew or your parents or your brother, your sister, your cousin, whatever the case may be. This is a form of protection. So again, God forbid something happens, you are protected. Your kids, if they live in a home, they are protected. If you're married, your husband or wife, they are protected. They can still live in a home. They can still make payments to keep their property up and keep their payment paid, right? So again, I recommend this to all my clients. Again, life insurance is a form of protection. This can cover your expenses and liabilities upon your death. And again, you should have life insurance outside of your job. I don't care what nobody's saying. You should have it outside of your job, because you can get fired at any point. So these are two ways that you can protect your asset. Again, one is no way around it. Homeowners insurance is no way around it. If you have a mortgage, there's no way around you not having homeowners insurance. The bank or a lender will not allow you to borrow money if you do not have homeowners insurance. But life insurance, on the other hand, that's optional, but I will tell you it's a necessity. So that is the end of the presentation. Any questions? So if you have questions, you can type it in the Q&A. But let me know if you got questions. You type it in the Q&A, or you can feel free. My email address is here. You can feel free to shoot me an email. But if you got questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions. And I hope that you found this information helpful. If you didn't know, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have more information on there that you can learn from. I know this webinar is it's like a one-time thing. This webinar will be on YouTube as well. But know this webinar is like a one-time thing, like a 30-45-minute presentation, and sometimes you can forget the information. So some of my webinars are on my YouTube channel. So if you need to go back and use it as a reference or a guide or anything, you can feel free to do so. But going forward, most likely after this month, my webinars will no longer be on YouTube. They will be more private, because I am creating a home buyer academy for first-time home buyers, to basically educate them on credit, finances, the home buying process step by step, what lenders are looking for, working with lenders. So I'm basically creating a home buying academy. It will be you will have to pay for it, but you will get influx of information. You will get in-depth information. I'm not about giving fluff. So the information that you've seen here, most people will not go over all of this information. Most realtors won't even tell you about life insurance. Most realtors don't even have life insurance, right? So they won't tell you about life insurance and how to use that as a form of protection. But because it's me and I have a finance background. So I know how money works, right? I know how to create generational wealth. I created wealth for myself. Like, I know how to do it. And I don't just want to be here just educating, people that I know personally, or my friends, or even friends of friends. Like, this is something for everybody, right? Everybody should be creating wealth in some way, shape, or form, right? We should be making money in some way, shape, or form. So what I am doing is, I actually made this decision probably about 4 hours ago. What time is it? Yep, I made this decision 4 hours ago that I was going to create a home buying academy, basically teaching how to buy a home, teaching finances, teaching credit, again, going over what lenders are looking for, going over how to build generational wealth. This is actually also tied into one of my ultimate goals. So I'm excited about this. If you know anybody that's looking for information like this 9 times out of 10 is going to be a one-time fee. I think I haven't fully decided on it yet, whether it be a monthly fee or a one-time fee. Is most likely going to be a one-time fee. But listen, the information is going to be there. I'm not holding back. The people that I'm going to have come on, they're not going to hold back. But going forward, my monthly webinars will be on that platform. Or I am still going to do landing pages for it to allow others to come on the webinar, but it just will no longer be on YouTube. So if you missed the webinar, you won't be able to see it at all. There will not be a replay. It will not be on my YouTube channel. So just want to put that out there that I am putting together a home buying academy. So if you know anyone that's looking for this kind of information, or looking to buy a home, or looking to create wealth, or looking to learn more about finances, or even financing, because I'm going to have lenders within the academy as well. If you know anyone that's looking to learn more about credit, trying to understand how credit works, building up credit, it's all going to be within the academy. So if you don't have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and end it. If you follow me on social media, the information will be up on my social media once the academy starts and everything like that. Most likely going to be on YouTube as well. I'll probably most likely do a video on it, announcing the academy. But again, hopefully, if you know someone, or if you yourself is interested in the academy, more information will be coming soon. I actually linked with a few people already that's going to be a part of the academy on the information side with me. So if you don't have any questions, we can go ahead and end. But I do thank you for being on. I hope the information was helpful. If you don't have any question, that's totally fine. If you think of something tomorrow, or even an hour from now, you can feel free to shoot me an email. If you follow me on social media, you can feel free to connect with me on there. My Instagram is Miss Smallwood, MS. My last name Smallwood, SMALLWOOD, the number 2, the number 4, on Instagram. Facebook is Danielle J. Smallwood Real Estate. YouTube, Danielle J. Smallwood. So you can connect with me on those 3 platforms. And again, I do thank you, and I do appreciate you for being on. And have a great evening. Thank you.